The house that took 8 years to sell here in Las Olas Isles in the city of Fort Lauderdale. What if I told you that one of the most spectacular waterfront homes in Fort Lauderdale took more than 8 years to sell? Through one of the hottest real estate markets in the history. This is the story of a home on Las Olas Isles. And before we begin, let me be very clear, this was never my listing. I did show this property twice to two different buyers over the course of the 8 years. But I made the decision never to pursue this listing because based on the pricing strategy, personally, I never believed the market was going to support what the sellers were asking at the time. Today in 2026, it finally sold, and I think every homeowner can learn something from this story. I'm Lourdes, Maestres. I have been selling luxury real estate here in the city of Fort Lauderdale for 17 years. I study this market every single day, and I have completed over 600 market analysis in this city. Today, I'm going to walk you through the 8-year journey of one of the Fort Lauderdale's most iconic waterfront homes, why it sat through one of the hottest real estate markets in the history, and the lesson that every homeowner can learn from it. The beginning. The story actually starts back in 2011. The owners purchased this incredible peninsula estate for $10,900,000. Now, guys, this is all public record. The property already had one of the most unique pieces of land in Fort Lauderdale, nearly 37,000 square feet of land, approximately 700 feet of deep water frontage, room for multiple yachts, and some of the best water views you will ever find here on Las Olas Isles or in Fort Lauderdale anywhere. Over the next several years, they completed extensive renovations, transforming it into one of Fort Lauderdale's true trophy estates. More than 10,000 square feet of living space, 6 bedrooms, 9 bathrooms, dual chef's kitchen, and listen to this, a 3,000 square foot primary suite, an elevator, covered outdoor entertaining spaces, and dockage that most yacht owners only dream about. Definitely an incredible property. Then came the pricing. In October of 2017, during the time that they were completing renovations, the home hit the market at $29,500,000. About 5 months later, it came off the market. Then just weeks later, instead of reducing the price, the home came back to the market at $32 million. And that's where the story really begins. Because over the next several years, something happened. The market went crazy and it shifted multiple times. So the house changed agents over and over and over. I actually already lost count how many real estate agents had this listed. Different brokerages, different marketing, different photography, different MLS numbers, different strategies and styles, like sometimes listed, sometimes withdraw, sometimes rented. Then back for sale on the market. Every agent in town knew this home was on the market. The asking prices bounced between $29 million and $32 million, depending on the listing. But one thing that rarely changed is the market wasn't willing to meet the seller where they wanted to be. And here's what makes this so interesting. Remember, during this time, Fort Lauderdale experienced one of the strongest luxury markets we've ever seen. COVID happened. Luxury waterfront demand exploded. People were moving to South Florida. Inventory hit record lows. $1,000,000 homes were selling in days with multiple offers. Yet, this property remained available through much of that cycle. That's why I say this story isn't about a bad house. It's a story about pricing. My experience, like I mentioned earlier, I actually showed this home twice to two different buyers over the course of the years. This wasn't just any buyers. My buyers were very qualified. In fact, one of my buyers ended up purchasing a brand new waterfront home in Lauderdale Harbor for $32.5 million. And at that time, I had represented the highest residential sale ever recorded in the city of Fort Lauderdale. That was in 2022. I remember walking through this property with my clients and telling him, I think this home is worth about $24 million, not $32 million, but I'm not sure they're going to take that. So he loved the home. The location is extraordinary. The lot is nearly impossible to replicate. The renovations, beautiful. But no matter how impressive the property was, every conversation came back to the same question. Is it worth the asking price? For my buyer, the answer was no. That's also why I decided not to pursue the listing each time it expired. It had nothing to do with the quality of the home. I think it's one of the most beautiful homes and estates that we have here in Fort Lauderdale. It was simply my professional opinion that the market wasn't going to support the price. And as a real estate agent, I never want to promise a seller something I genuinely don't believe in. I didn't believe the market could deliver that price. Finally, fast forward to 2025, the property returned again. Initially around $31.5 million, then reduced again to $29 million, then later relisted, and then at $27 million, and finally, 2026, after 8 years of marketing, the home closed close to $24 million. To be exact, $23,955,000. Congratulations to both the buyers and the seller. In my opinion, it's one of the Fort Lauderdale's most iconic waterfront estates. The lesson. Now here's why I wanted to make this video. People hear $24 million sale and they think, wow, what an incredible result. Maybe it was, but here's what they don't calculate. 8 years of carrying cost, property taxes, insurance, maintenance on a 10,000 square foot waterfront estate, dock maintenance, landscaping, utilities, capital tied up in a single asset, and perhaps the biggest cost of all, opportunity. I can't speak to the seller's financial goals, and I wasn't involved in any of the negotiations, so let me be very clear, but I can tell you this. One of the biggest mistakes homeowners make is believing that time will fix an unrealistic asking price. Sometimes it does, unless it's COVID. Many times it doesn't. The market doesn't care what you paid. It doesn't care what we invested. It only cares what qualified buyers are willing to pay for your home today. The reason I wanted to share this story isn't to criticize anyone. I know I'm going to have some haters probably, but listen, it's because I think every seller and every real estate agent can learn from this story. Pricing isn't about winning the first day your home hits the market. It's about maximizing your net proceeds while minimizing the cost of waiting. Sometimes the highest price on paper isn't actually the best financial outcome. If you would like me to break down more iconic Fort Lauderdale sales like this one, let me know in the comments below. I read every comment. I'm Lourdes Maestres, and every week I share real estate market insights for homeowners and strategies that you can actually take to sell your luxury real estate home here in the city of Fort Lauderdale. If you found this video helpful, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next video.